Oh, here we are. Another Monday. Another horrible episode of Batwoman. If it seems like I'm out of breath, it's not because the show took it away. It's because I just got done training legs. I'm hurting, but I'm sitting in this chair recording this video for you guys. Let's get into it. Episode 16 of Season 2. Rebirth or Afterbirth or whatever this show resembles. Monkeys. Roll the footage.
Yeah, that works.
I like
all right.
that a lot.
Okay. All right, moving on.
Hey, what about Tulip?
Welcome to the place to be reviews.
I was a little frustrated. Batwoman, that's just a car. Somebody's watching this show. That really annoyed me. Batwoman is still doing quite well. It doesn't even look like Batwoman.
We start out this episode with a nervous-looking toxic white male getting attacked by a blade-wielding assassin over what looks like the old WCW Halliburton briefcase that Mongo used to carry around. He's attacked and stabbed, not Mongo, this nervous-looking toxic white male, but Batwoman arrives and we can clearly see that the assailant is from Lesbican Island, and it's Tatiana, Sophia's hench lesbian. Yes, that's right. They're back, which means we can only see one thing. A return to Lesbican Island. Maybe only in theory, who knows? But let's move on with the episode, shall we? Luke is sitting out on the ledge of Wayne Enterprises, much the way Kate did in Season 1, and he has his glasses off, and I don't know what he keeps trying to do with his face, but it just doesn't work. Cameron Johnson is trying to look brooding, and that resembles a stroke victim. Anyway, Ryan is there in the full bat regalia, which is risky because God knows that fucking just anyone can walk all the way up to Bruce's fucking office because there's no actual security in the whole fucking building. Ryan is blathering on, and Luke's still sitting there on the ledge, still apparently having a stroke because his face looks all contorted every time he tries to. He can't Cameron Johnson cannot face act. It's terrible. His facial expressions are shit. He tells Ryan he wants to be alone, and he has to tell her twice because she didn't listen the first time, much like that time she burned the fucking pot roast.
You get your bitch ass back in the kitchen and make me some pie.
So this scene needs to end, and Luke is still staring into the shit abyss, still sporting a stroke face, and we get let's just da-na-na, da-na, just play it. Just play the fucking clip, all right?
Peter, I'm really starting to question why I'm even friends with you in the first place.
Our big-faced Channel 8 news reporter, who obviously didn't dye her roots enough, is outside the Gotham courthouse, where Crow Agent Russell Tavarov is being released on bond before his trial. And he looks rather happy, as well as dapper, leaving the courthouse with his lawyer. I'm sure the ladies in the audience will appreciate that. Well, some of them anyway. Of course, there's black protesters with signs that say, "Defund the Crozies!" And that's kind of funny because it shows that these idiots probably don't pay attention to the news, because if they did, they'd feel pretty stupid asking for an organization that has already been shut down by its founder to be defunded. That's like when pirate hench lesbian assassin Tatiana stabs and kills someone. Her shooting them posthumously doesn't kill them even more than they already are dead. You can't defund something that ceases to exist, and you can't kill something that's already dead. But moron protesters don't understand nuance, subtlety, or basic common knowledge of anything. If you hear that in the background, I'm sorry, the ghetto bird is flying by. The reporter hails Jacob as a hero for speaking out against the corruption within his organization. And what's funny about what he just did is it's akin to cutting off his nose to spite his face. The only thing that sad excuse for a cisgender, heteronormative, pale, stale, toxic white male had going for him. But no. Old Agent Chad McSquarejaw shoots Little Fox. Next thing you know, it's time to shut down shop, pack it up, and file for unemployment. And if you lived in my state, you'd be rolling in those sweet, sweet socialist dollars for sitting on your ass and doing nothing, Jacob Kane.
Sure, Jan.
Roman Sionis is apparently none too pleased that the news reporter from Channel 8 with the bad dye job called Jacob Kane a hero for committing financial suicide, because he basically complains aloud. And he's answered by the visiting queen of Lesbican Island herself, none other than the midget lesbian pirate Sophia, and they go back and forth about the lengths that Sionis will go to get revenge on Kane for the death of his daughter Cersei while she was incarcerated at Arkham Asylum. And we get some minor exposition that's relatively meaningless at this point, and Sophia asks Roman if his daughter can help her tie up some loose ends as a favor. Sionis declines, and he says that Cersei's ready to make her grand re-entry into Gotham's influencer scene. After Sophia says last she heard, Cersei was running around with a tree stapled to her face. Sionis says his people covered up all the things that his real daughter had done to land herself in Arkham, as well as her death. And he actually says yada yada at the end of his fucking sentence. So in the middle of an exposition dump about the backstory of his daughter Cersei, who is obviously a main plot point considering she's Kate fucking Kane now, he fucking yada yadas the story to midget pirate lesbian Queen Sophia. Unfucking believable writing.
That landed her in Arkham to begin with, and her death, yada yada.
Yada, yada, yada.
He goes on to say his PR team spun her absence as her being admitted into rehab, then plays a commercial starring Cersei from Janus Cosmetics called Rebirth. And my God, is Wallace Day an absolute goddess. Midget pirate lesbian Queen Sophia is confused about how they made Catesies look like Cersei, and Roman spills the beans that he subcontracted the labor to Alice because she's non-union. Sophia admonishes him for bringing Kate and Alice together, but Roman didn't know that Alice was Beth Kane. Upstairs, Cersei is on an elliptical working on some cardio and hears a noise, which turns out to be Alice and Jacob, who take her at gunpoint, presumably to convince her that she's Kate and needs to come back because Ryan is a miserable cow and nobody fucking likes her, and she's a narcissistic twat who clings to victimhood status. And speaking of that miserable twat, Ryan, Batwoman is at a murder scene. Well, it's a house that turns out to be a murder scene, but it's someone who's in the witness protection program, and it's later stated that the man who Ryan finds dead in this scene was left blind because Cersei gouged his eyes out with a spoon. Mary's on the comm telling Ryan that the house is a government safe house, and Ryan is scanning the premises when she says, "There's bidets in the bathrooms. They wouldn't give us hand soap at the community center." Well, first of all, Ryan, if you and your former lesbian lover Imani hadn't foolishly squandered all the resources from your fundraiser, maybe you could have bought your precious hand soap. Ever think about that, Ryan? Anyway, protection. Batwoman figures that the killer is Tatiana, and they fight a little bit, and Tatiana escapes out the window after telling Ryan, "This isn't your fight, Batwoman." Didn't Ryan say last week that this fight was in her DNA, or was she just talking about the social justice bullshit? Okay, never mind.
Social justice, 1, 2, 3. I wanna be PC. It's just the way to be for me.
Jacob and Alice have taken Cersei, or Catesies, or we can just call her the goddess Wallace Day, no? Okay, they take Kate. Okay, I'm gonna call her fucking Kate because that's who she is, and that's who is actually Batwoman. They've run her DNA through the database at Crow headquarters, and in doing so, we see that not only is the DNA a match, but they use a picture of Ruby Rose. Jacob immediately goes to Kate and says it really is you, and they show her the real Cersei on screen and tell her that she's dead. Kate doesn't believe it and pulls some straight up Black Widow shit, flips backward and kicks Jacob in the face, spins around only to get KO'd by my personal favorite, gorgeous, murderous psychopath, Alice. And Jacob yells at her like they're kids, and Alice just says, "Sorry, did you want her to escape?" She goes on to explain the highly illogical scenario in which Kate was put into this mental state of being and how they can free her from it using specific items belonging to Kate. And when Jacob asks how they're going to do that, in comes Ocean Man with a conveniently placed bag full of Kate's forget-me-nots. Alice is then forced to make the awkward introduction of Ocean to Jacob, and man, if good old Jacob knew the guy shaking his hand was clapping his daughter's cheeks on the floor of an abandoned train car.
Fuck me, right?
Ocean says goodbye to Mr. Kane with all of the energy of a 16-year-old boy meeting the father of the girl he's about to take to prom and wants to try to fuck later. And Alice calls him out on it, but Ocean Man says he wants Jacob to like him, call him old-fashioned, and as Alice kisses him, you can see they're clearly in love. Aw, Alice has graduated from being a lesbian.
Oh, what the fuck ever?
In the Batcave, Mary is telling Ryan that the dead guy was indeed made blind by Cersei Sionis. And Ryan asks how Mary knew all that, and this is the dialogue from Mary that follows. And I quote, "So this case was sealed, but Luke has a thingy that unseals seals."
But Luke has a thingy that unseals seals.
Are you fucking high?
But Luke has a thingy that unseals seals.
This is the genius Lesbian Island Desert Rose Jesus Blood Flower synthesizing super secret underground clinic that nobody knows about but everybody knows about that's now legitimate running Mary. Who do you bigots think she is? A toxic pale stale male? Fuck you, Caroline Dries, you piece of shit! Your writers are morons who are insultingly bad at their jobs! Little Fox shows a police ID at the door of a bar, and upon gaining entry, he's standing and waiting to get a drink and is immediately approached by Russell Tavarov, who says this is law enforcement only, and Luke replies, "They let you in here and you're unemployed." And Tavarov orders 2 whiskeys and goes on about how he's going to have his charges dropped and he's going to walk, and says something to Luke and invokes his father, to which Luke says, "Don't talk about my dad," and pours one of the whiskeys into the other and drinks them both, and tells Tavarov not to talk about his dad, takes a sip, but now we're supposed to believe that this little pissant is Tupac after shooting number 1 or 50 Cent after shooting number 4. I don't know. Tavarov asks if he came here looking for a fight, and Luke asks if he's looking for another fake excuse to shoot him. Turns out Luke's modus operandi in this part of the plot is to beat Tavarov in poker. More genius writing from Caroline Dries and her idiot brigade. Little Fox is approached by a familiar face, which belongs to John Diggle from Arrow, and he tells Luke some of us are just here to play cards. Jacob is trying item association with Kate, and it doesn't work, but Alice has a shot at it and has some more success. Alice sits down and shows Kate a mug that says Mind Reader, and tells the story of when Kate had a childhood crush on Jenny Goldberg, but she wasn't out yet, so she didn't tell anyone. But Beth already knew and got her the mug to let her know that she knew. Kate is having mental flashbacks, and we get to see the struggle in her psyche between Kate and Circe trying to break through the wall that Enigma built.
So, I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious.
Back at the 2021 Gotham World Series of Poker, but in Gotham I think the World Series of Scissor would be more appropriate.
Yeah, scissor!
Ryan is trying to get Little Fox to come back to the Batcave so he can do all the work and Mary can fuck off and Ryan can go punch some more toxic white males, and she tells him that Sophia, the midget pirate lesbian queen, is in town, and Luke tells her, "You've got this, I gotta get back to my poker game." Then he says that you and Mary gave me the Lesbian Island, Desert Rose, Jesus Blood, MacGuffin flower, and I woke up, and I didn't want to wake up. We're supposed to feel sorry for him? Not buying it, Cameras. You're going to have to do better than that. Ryan gets all pissy, and when he says that he didn't want to wake up, she has that derp look on her face. Luke says, and this is fucking beautiful, "Why would I want to live in a world where I can get shot for no reason?"
He was a retard.
Oh, Caroline, you sweet summer child. Your activists, writers, can't help themselves, can they?
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Mary's on the phone with Jacob, and he's telling her that Kate is alive, and she's obviously trying to act here, and it doesn't work. But when Jacob tells Mary that Sionis is Black Mask, Mary tells him that Sionis is tied to Queen Sophia, the midget pirate lesbian, and he needs to be careful. And Jacob is immediately attacked by false face goons, and it brings back memories of when the Crows were open and they used to just walk out to the car park and get their asses beat, kidnapped, stabbed, whatever, because there's no security in the building and the Crows are inept morons. So Alice, who kills about 3 of them before she's taken down and held at sword point by Sophia's #1 hench lesbian, Tatiana, she simply says to Alice,
Miss me?
So
Ryan is on the phone with Mary as she's en route to Crow's headquarters to try to save Kate and Jacob, but Kate walks out in front of the Batmobile and Ryan offers her a ride in her own fucking car. How nice is Ryan?
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Again, we return to the Gotham World Series of Poker, where Little Fox is all in on one hand and is talking shit to Tavarov because he has more chips on the table. And to cover his bet, Tavarov has to borrow money from someone and then asks who Diggle is, and he tells him he's in town from Star City in a contract. Tavarov flips over aces. Luke has a straight. He wins. He calls Tavarov stupid in the process, and he collects his winnings and says, "I've been running from this fight my entire life, and it's gotten me nowhere."
Why?
Implying that he's been oppressed his whole life. The son of Lucius Fox. Okay, I'm going to pack it up and call it good on that note. Roman and his goons have Jacob Kane in his office, and he's acting like a typical toxic white male villain. And Jacob threatens to expose Sionis' Black Mask publicly, and then Sionis retorts with the fact that he'll go public and tell everyone that Alice is Kane's daughter, which I thought was already common knowledge, so it's kind of a weird flex, bro. But okay, I guess. When Kane says he'll go to GCPD, all the False Face Society goons pull out their badges, and they're all GCPD officers. So they formally arrest Kane. And what do you know? The show paints, again, all the law enforcement officers as criminals. Well, Caroline, it seems we've reached an impasse. You're stuck between complete mental retardation and just being a complete fucking idiot. So which one is it, bitch?
Yes, every single thing I say offends them.
Who are you calling them?
Meanwhile, outside of the Gotham World Series of Poker, Luke is leaving until Tavarov steps in and they trade some punches, and Tavarov ultimately gets the better of him because, let's be honest, Little Fox is a bitch. And Diggle steps in for the save, even hitting Tavarov once after Russell remarks, "Here in Gotham, we hold the line against punks like this." You saw blatant disrespect at the table. Diggle just says, "I heard you shot him the other day. Now you're worried about him not showing you respect? See, you go, John Diggle. Put that toxic white male in his place and save that little soy boy because God knows he needs it."
Why are you gay?
Ryan takes Kate back to Wayne Enterprises and Mary runs up and hugs her, and Kate obviously has no idea who she is, and Kate goes to grab a drink while Mary and Ryan babble back and forth, and in walks Sophie because they literally have nothing else for Meg and Tandy to do aside from look hot in most episodes. But this reunion can mean one thing and one thing only. Are you ready for it? Because it's time for
The Lesbian!
Kate remembers who Sophie is automatically and they embrace, and that's an aesthetically pleasing sight, but I digress.
Scissor me timber!
Boom! Mary's talking to Kate, and Kate has a flash to her subconscious, and Circe is waiting there for her, and she attacks Mary, and Sophie and Ryan pull her off and discuss how to get Alice back from Sophia. And Ryan tells Sophie and Mary they can give Queen Midget Pirate Lesbican the Lesbican Island Jesus Blood flower plant that Ryan has been growing in the Batcave in exchange for Alice to be returned so she can help get Kate back mentally. Are you picking up on all that garbage? Because that's mental gymnastics in action there for the writers to actually think this plot makes any kind of sense whatsoever.
You wanna get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts!
Diggle checks up on Little Fox after the beating, and Diggle drops some wisdom on Luke. He tells him that he carries the torch for the whole Fox family and that he stands for justice.
Are you serious?
Bat signal is being used to send a Morse code message to Luke saying that he's needed. I really don't understand why they brought this character in. It's probably just to set Luke up as Cuckwing, but still, seemed like a waste of time, a waste of a character, and more or less just a waste of garbage tier writing on a garbage tier show that hurts my fucking brain more than getting a frontal lobotomy with an ice pick.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
Alice is in the custody of the Queen Midget Pirate herself, Sophia, and Alice hears that Jacob has been arrested, and the news reports call Alice a monster, and Jacob throws all of his support at her and takes the blame on himself. Enter the Queen Lesbicano, and she says,
"I believe you owe me an island."
Here on Lesbican Island.
Back at the Batcave, Mary is bandaging Luke's head, and Ryan asks him to help find Alice, and Mary tells Luke that Kate is still alive.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Sophia travels with a lot of candles for dramatic effect, don't you think? I mean, did she request that when she rented this room? She's like,
"Yes, room service. This is Midget Pirate Lesbian Queen Sophia, the Queen of Lesbican Island. I need a room with accommodations for myself, 18 goons, 1 hench lesbican, and I'm gonna need a constant supply of 16-inch plain white candles."
I imagine the front desk responding like this.
"Ma'am, this is a Holiday Inn Express. You're lucky we have running water and electricity."
Like, I understand the atmosphere when you're on your home field, but it's hard to do that type of setup when you're the road team, as is the case with our Queen Midget Pirate Lesbican. Sophia tells Alice that she's a spoiled child who thinks that she deserves more than she's earned. Ryan shows up as Batwoman with the Jesus flower blood left from Lesbican Island and for trade, and Sophia agrees and asks Ryan, "Hey, are you fucking retarded?" And Ryan says, yes, I am. But that's beside the point. As she's leaving, Alice brings up Ocean, and Sophia says, "There you go again, thinking that you deserve more than you've earned." And she tells Alice that a girl like her could never be worthy of having it all. Alice panics and asks Queen Midget Pirate Lesbican Sophia's hench lesbican Tatiana, wait, where is she? Tatiana is not there, and Alice quickly realizes that Ocean is probably dead at this point because of her
Sheer fucking hubris.
In Kate's apartment, Sophie is watching over Kate, and she gets up and looks in the mirror and asks Sophie whose face she has, and then we get another battle of subconscious between Cersei and young Kate. And I think this is one of my least favorite parts of the entire episode are the subconscious sequences. I don't like the exposition for the sake of exposition, as it's kind of insulting when it's as poorly constructed as these and pretty much every other scene in this fucking episode that won't end, and just painful to watch. Kate tricks Sophie into leaving the room to get some vodka out of her desk downstairs at and Kate escapes and goes back to Sion. Alice and Ryan are leaving Motel 6.
I'm Tom Bodad, and we'll leave the light on for you.
And Alice laments that Ocean Man isn't answering his phone, and she's worried. And Ryan says she doesn't care, but everyone better drop everything when Ryan complains and plays the victim role. Are you fucking kidding me? She has the audacity to question anyone about anything? That's laughable at best. Is running through the sewers to get to her abandoned train car clubhouse, and she's confronted by Tatiana, who she makes short work of with a knife to the neck, and Tatiana is dead for good this time. If you remember Sophia teaching her a lesson with the stabby little game of freeze tag that she likes to play with her dagger that someone has baked Jesus blood flour into the blade. I know, it's fucking stupid, but it's Caroline Dries. What do you expect? Alice finds Ocean dead with his throat slit, and given he was the captain of the Lesbian Island Security Forces while under the employ of Queen Midget Lesbian Pirate, pair that with the fact that he isn't a white male, and it's the most compelling mystery of the episode on how they killed a minority character off.
I'll see you in hell, Costanza.
Jacob is talking to Mary from jail, and he got a transfer from Blackgate Prison in Gotham to Metropolis. And Jacob is telling Mary he can't beat the charges because Sionis is too powerful. And that's kind of funny because Mary is literally fucking loaded because she's the sole owner of Hamilton Industries. Jacob was the founder of the Crows. He's got money. But why wouldn't they have any resources to put together a crack legal team, right? I mean, OJ did it. He probably gave all his money away to the people his mere existence is oppressive to. You know, because of his original sin of being a toxic white male and all. Ryan and Luke are walking through.
This is Lesbos!
And Ryan starts prattling on about how sorry she is for what happened to Luke and how she wasn't sorry, she saved him, and they vomit in each other's mouths or some shit like that. And the dialogue in this scene was cringe, and I was tired and falling asleep at my keyboard. Sophie asks Ryan and Luke if they saw Cates's, and Sophie tells them that she left to get her something for 2 seconds, and when she came back, Cates's was gone. Sophie went to get her vodka because they were going to drink and get nasty, and that's something that this episode desperately lacked.
Oh, we're scissoring!
Unless sitting and talking about fucking feelings.
This doesn't bode well.
Cut to Cersei or Kate or...
You're gonna fix that, right?
Fuck it, it's 1:15 while I'm typing this. I'm exhausted, and I'm just going to say...
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
That she's the hotter Mackenzie Davis.
What are you doing? Future shit.
No, that's not fair to Mackenzie because Wallace is literally a walking goddess. So that's really not fair to Mackenzie. So anyway, Kate is back at Roman Polanski's house, and she's waiting for Jay Sebring and Abigail Folger to arrive, along with Wojtek Frykowski. While she waits, she asks if she's Kate Kane, and why is she having memories from Kate, and her fingerprints are Kate's. And then she stabs Roman through the hand, pinning him to a chair, and Kate demands to know if she's really Kate Kane. Queen Midget Pirate Lesbian Sophia says, tell her, Roman. I always say,
A woman has the right to decide exactly who she wants to be.
What?
What?
What does the fuck say?
What the fuck is wrong with this guy, man?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Peter, I'm really starting to question why I'm even friends with you in the first place.
This episode was titled Rebirth, and I don't know if this was the rebirth of the Kate Kane character, but my God, this episode was boring. I watched it 3 times. I was up, like I said, until almost 2 o'clock working on this last night. I've been working on this video since, I don't know, 8 o'clock this morning. It's 20 to 4. This episode was like getting kicked in the head repeatedly. Seeing Luke Fox try to play a tough guy, knowing he's coming in to play Cuckwing now. I like everything that Wallace Day did. Javicia Leslie, Ryan Wilder's character is garbage. She should be gone. She shouldn't be Batwoman. I mean, let's be honest. The ratings are shit with her as the lead. Nobody wants her. Kate Kane is Batwoman, always will be. I don't care how bad the show gets. At least let it be bad with the real Batwoman. I think Wallace Day would be much better in the lead. And then you could kind of get back into the story arc with her and Alice, because you know there'd be a falling out there. Roman Sionis gets basically cucked out in the end. Going into next week, I mean, this doesn't make him look like a formidable villain for anybody, you know? So, I don't know. Jacob Kane's bitch ass is in jail. Sophie's looking to, again, I'm not going to complain. I mean, they're both like, yeah. I mean, we could do it, but really, this episode, this is basically what this episode did to me. Just anyway, I'm Tepokuian. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. If I've earned your subscription, hit that button. Join us tonight. That Umbrella guy will be joining us at 8:30 Eastern. Myself and Tony Tonedeaf, right here, episode 156 of the podcast. Until then, I'm Tepokuian of the Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all of yous. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow. I'll catch you on the next one. And remember, it's better to burn out than fade away.